Hello everyone. So in my previous video I have discussed the other elements of directing. All other we have done, that is we have done motivation and leadership. So today in this video I am going to discuss the last part of directing chapter and the last element, which is communication. See, what is the meaning of communication? It is a very common term, and every time in our life we do communication. Like whatever I'm doing right now, I'm saying something, I'm telling something, and if you are getting whatever I'm trying to say, is communication. You all communicate with your family member, with your friends. Always we share something, we tell something. Okay, so in your family or with someone, with anyone else, if you are saying something, you're trying to tell, you are sharing your ideas, your emotions, your feelings. So that is communication. You're trying to share something with other, and the other person is getting what you're saying. So that is communication. And communication is a very common term, but is very important in an organization. See, a manager communicates, he devotes maximum time in communicating with the employees in an organization. Okay, so communication is a very important part in an organization, and a manager devotes maximum time in doing this, because with effective communication you can achieve your targets, your goals. Okay, so we'll start with what communication is. So when we'll talk about communication as definition, so it is, communication is defined as exchange of ideas, views, messages, information and instruction. That means whenever we are trying to share something, we are trying to say something, whether we are trying to give some idea or our views, our own opinions, our emotions, some message you are going to share with other, you are giving some information or instructions. That means these all comes under communication. So between two or more person, this is important, that you are sharing something with other person. See, if I'm trying to explain something to myself, that is not communication. Communication means at least two persons are required, minimum two persons are required there. So it is between two persons by different means. Means for sharing of ideas, exchange of ideas, instructions, knowledge, information, some means is required. So what are the means? Like, it can be written, you can write something, okay. It can be oral communication, that means with words. Now, when I'm explaining something, that is oral communication. This is written, so this is written communication. You can use diagrams, pictures, or gestures also. Okay, so you can use the diagrams, pictures. So this is also like for explaining something, or okay, now not gestures or graphs. You can write here graphs. So first is written, oral, diagram, pictures or graphs. We use this also to explain something. And last one is your gesture. So what is gesture? Like, suppose I am taking class and one student comes and say, ma'am, may I come in? And since I was teaching, I don't want to disturb, to get my class disturbed, I'll say, I'm just doing this. So this means, yes, you are allowed to come inside. So this is what? Gesture. Or I don't want that student to enter into the class, so I'll say, okay, I'm doing only this. Means I'm not allowing that student to enter into the class. So that is my gesture. I'm very happy. Or I am understanding what the teacher is saying. I said, okay, now all of you are getting what I'm trying to explain to you. So this is what? You're nodding your head. That means you're understanding. So that is gesture. So these are the different means by which a person communicates, a person exchanges their ideas, information, whatever it is. Now coming to the next part, that is element of communication process. So these are the elements. First is sender, then message, encoding, media, decoding, receiver, and then the feedback which the sender gets. Now I'll explain this. Sender is a person who is giving you the message. Okay, whatever I am trying to explain is, I'm the sender. Now message. Message is the content, or whatever you want to explain, you want to share with other, is the message. Now you will encode this message into a language. Like I'm explaining communication. So in English, I'm using English language or Hindi or any other language. So I'm converting that information, what I'm having, in some language. So that is encoding. And then media. Media is the way through which you are communicating with others. Like I can explain one student, suppose a student is having a doubt, I can explain over the phone. So that is the media used, okay. Or through this YouTube channel I am explaining, through the video I am explaining, so that is media. And then decoding. So decoding is done by the receiver. The person at the other end, he will try to understand the language. Encoding is translating the message into a language, and decoding is converting that message into a language and understanding it. So that is decoding. So decoding is done by receiver, and when the receiver understands the message, he will give feedback to the receiver. Now suppose after explaining this topic, I'll ask, are you getting everything? Have you understood this? Student will say yes. So either spoken, he will speak that yes, I have understood, or he'll nod his head. So that is giving feedback to the sender that yes, whatever you are trying to explain is done. In between encoding and media, there is noise. Noise is what? It's the disturbance or interruption in the process. Like suppose I am talking over the phone with my friend and there is some problem in the telephone line. Okay, so that is disturbance, because of which in the media there is disturbance or noise, because of which the receiver is unable to get the message the sender is trying to give. So this is noise, and these are the elements of communication process. So, and the next topic is forms of business organizational communication. So there are two forms of organizational communication, formal and informal communication. So two forms, formal and informal. Now what is formal communication? This is actually the official communication. This is official. So whenever we talk about official communication, it is in written form. Official means what? Official communication means exchange of that information, instructions or messages regarding the official matter. Okay, exchange of information regarding the official matter, like the plans, policies, fixation of responsibility, and giving some information to the subordinates, or whatever is granting some authority. So these are all done generally and normally in written form. Why oral communication is not there in informal communication? Because we cannot keep the record of it. So official communication is always, record is kept there. So in this, record is maintained, and that can be done when it is in written form. Okay, so formal communication is official communication in written form. Now there are four types of formal communication. Means it can be divided into four. First is downward communication, then comes the upward, horizontal and diagonal. Downward means this way, that means from top to bottom. It flows from top to bottom. Now what flows from top to bottom? Plans. Whatever plan is made by the top management, that is communicated to the lower level. So plans, policies, orders, instructions and notices. Okay, so this will follow from top to bottom. Now that is downward communication. Now upward communication, when the subordinates, they try to communicate with the top official. This is upward, means moving upward. The flow is upward. So what will go from the subordinates to the superior? Suggestions, complaints, grievances, and if there is any proposal. So these go from subordinates from the lower level to the higher level. So that is upward communication. Then comes horizontal communication. I have written, it is communication between the people at same level in different departments. Okay, so this horizontal line will be there. That means a person is the head of purchase department, he is communicating with the head of marketing department. So that is horizontal communication, means two persons at the same level of authority, but they are in different departments. So when they communicate with each other, that is called horizontal communication. Then comes the diagonal. Diagonal means in this way. That means one person, see, both the person are in different departments and the level also is different. Means a subordinate of a particular department, when he communicates with the superior of another department, this is called what? Diagonal. Diagonal communication. So these are the four types: downward, upward, horizontal and diagonal. Now here, suppose the salesman, he wants to communicate with the production manager. Now he is the salesman here, the subordinate of marketing department. He wants to give some information to production manager regarding changes in the product, because he has got feedback from the customers. So he can directly communicate with the head of production department, so that is diagonal communication. And why this is allowed? Because in this system, delay in decision will not be there. Okay, now he can directly communicate, there is no time gap between this communication, so he doesn't have to wait to communicate this to his superior and then his superior will talk to the department head of other production department. So this is allowed, and the benefit it gives is timely decision making. So these are the 4 types of formal communication. Now coming to the next part, that is informal communication. Now what is the meaning of informal communication? It is also known as, very important, it is also known as grapevine. Have you ever seen grapevine? You cannot see from where it has started. You'll be unable to know its source and where it is going. Okay, so here it is because of the friendly talks of the people, and because it is an unofficial communication. It is unofficial communication. It is because of the friendly talk. Non-official matters they talk because of the social interaction of the people. This type of communication takes place, and you will not be able to know from where that message started and where it is going. So that is why it is called grapevine. Now we have 4 types of informal communication. Now these are the 4 types of informal communication. As I said, it is a grapevine because you cannot know the source from where the information has come, and you cannot predict the direction in which it is going. So first one is gossip. Gossip means when one person, see, he is having the information and then this person is communicating with so many persons. So this is gossip. When A is communicating it with B, C, D, E, F, he is giving that information to so many people, that is gossip. Cluster means suppose A is having faith on B and C. Now he communicate to the person on whom he is having faith and trust. Now B is having trust with 2 other persons, so he will communicate with these 2 other persons, D and E. And now E is having faith on F and G. So this is what cluster is. Next one is single strand. Now single strand means one person communicating with the other in a sequence. So this is a single strand communication. And probability means it is random communication. Now one person will communicate with 2 or 3. Suppose he is communicating with 3 persons. Now he will communicate with 2. He is not communicating this to anyone, and he is communicating with again 2. This one with 3. So it is random. You cannot predict the how it is going. You cannot predict. So these are the types of formal and informal communication. In this we have completed. Now one thing, what are the benefits of formal communication? See, in formal communication, it is very systematic and orderly. First thing, you will be able to fix the responsibility. You will be why responsibility fixing is easy, because you know that from where that information started. Okay, you know the source of information, and then it is very easy to exercise control in formal organization. Now this thing is the demerit of this merit of formal is the demerit of informal. Here he cannot fix the responsibility. It never flows in an orderly and systematic manner, and here the decision making is delayed, and here decision making is fast. Okay, so and what are the demerits of formal communication? That it is all decision making is always delayed here. I said just now, decision making is always delayed here, and this is a very impersonal type of communication. Okay, you are not personally involved with the person. This is very impersonal form of communication. Here communication flows very fast. In gossip cluster, communication flows very fast, and you can get accurate response. You can get a proper feedback in informal communication. And the demerits of informal is it leads to spread of rumors here. Okay, and leakage of information is also there, and you cannot fix the responsibility. So these are the merits and demerits of formal and informal organization. So with this we complete one part of communication. In my next video I'll discuss the barriers to communication. That is also very important part. So in the next video I'll deal with the last part of communication, that is barriers to communication. Thank you.